Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Here's a clip from a gentleman in Chicago City Council meeting during public comment. I was a city council member here in upstate New York from 2000 to 2007. And we had a public comment section as well. It was 5 minutes. And we were pretty liberal on what you talk about as long as you were civil and didn't swear. This gentleman comes up. Now, look at this crowd. We're going to play the short clip, so just hang on a minute. Look at this crowd. Mostly white or young, ultra-progressive liberals. And they're all looking on him in astonishment. And I don't see many black faces in this audience. This is only part of it, I'm sure. But there's a lady on the left, and right above her at the very top is another African-American lady. Now, notice the only person that claps and has any comment at all, either physically or verbally, is the lady on the left, the black lady with the dark red top on. Now let's listen to some of this.
We got little children. What about the black children in the ghetto? We got to make a future for them.
Now, who's the only one clapping? Who's the only one clapping? The black lady. Look at all sitting there, and they don't dare say anything. They don't dare boo. They don't dare shout over them because according to the progressive mindset, an elderly black gentleman is an oppressed class. So we have to sit here and listen to him, even though I'm sure all of these mental pygmies all voted for the new Democrat mayor when Lori Lightfoot got put out. You thought she was a nut bar. The new mayor is twice as bad. I don't remember his name, nor do I care. It's interesting what he says towards the end. You won't believe it.
We'll move them out. Move us out and then come in to compete with jobs, goods, and contracted services.
Yeah, contractor services and jobs. They're finally getting it. Finally getting it. They're putting out low-income people that have been waiting for housing in HUD-subsidized housing in Chicago and other big cities for years. And then when their turn comes up, they go, oops, sorry, we're going to give illegal immigrants your spot instead. We're going to give them jobs. We're going to give them $2,000 a month in free housing. We're going to put them up in hotels. We're going to put up in low-income housing that you've been waiting on a waiting list for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. And they've had enough. Now, is it going to be enough to turn the tide? I don't know. But we've got almost a year to go. And, of course, the Democrats are going to be working really hard to make sure they don't lose these people. Let's listen to the rest.
Historian Carl Anderson say that they have a negative effect on the black community. I'm strictly advocating for black people and call ice on them. Trump, come in here. Clean this mess up.
Look at the lady. Look at the black lady. Yeah, with her head. Trump, come in here and clean this mess up. This gentleman probably never would have said that at all. Now, he's an old school guy, so it might be an old school Democrat, which I can live with. These new progressives he's sitting in the audience, they're looking at him with just stunned look on their faces. Especially the Asians who are getting crapped on now because they're not an oppressed class. Chinese Asians, Asian Indians are not an oppressed class anymore because they're doing well in this country. So they're put out of academia and they get screwed over for entrance into major universities. No one is booing him. No one is shouting over him. If he was a white gentleman that was older, they probably would have. Trump, come in here and clean this mess up. Let's hear that one more time.
Trump, come in here. Clean this mess up. The most corrupt city in the United States is the city of Chicago. And that's not my...
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore, for your comments.
The most corrupt city is the city of Chicago. And they cut off his mic. Now, we used to give warnings when I was council president to people making public comment. You have 1 minute left or whatever. As soon as they said the most corrupt city, all of a sudden his time mysteriously disappeared. And there's the black lady cheering them on and clapping. And look at the looks on these faces. Looks like they all got a big shot of Novocaine. They're like, this is what you voted for. But here's the part that really burns my behind. There's people that are advocating, stop sending them. Stop them at the border of the city in New York and Chicago and other major cities. They're being overrun, supposedly, with illegals. This is what you voted for. You wanted to be a sanctuary city, and now you are. Because your ideology has met reality. And the reality is the Democrats are taking you for granted, which they always have, but they're pushing you out now as a voting bloc. They desperately, desperately have to win the House of Representatives in 2024. Just in case Trump wins, they can basically neuter him as far as they did the last time, the last 2 years of Trump's presidency. Do everything in their power. They'll probably impeach him again. They'll have impeachment 3 and 4. They're probably going to 90% chance the Democrats are going to lose the Senate. So they got to hold on to something. And this population that's being shipped to these big cities gets counted for congressional seats. That is the secret weapon they have. And over time, they want to build up the numbers. They don't give a good damn about black people or anything else. All they care about is power and control. I hope people wake up. Looks like this gentleman is, and the lady in the audience has as well. But are they going to convince enough people? Is it going to be enough? But you notice none of them booed. They didn't clap either, but they didn't boo because they know the truth. Now, pushing them off into other cities around the country to give them relief does not solve the problem nationwide. And there's where it burns my behind. Because the people in New York and Chicago especially are screaming, we have more than enough. They're pushing out black people. They're hurting black people. Well, they're going to hurt people somewhere else. And that's the thing. Such narcissists that it's okay if my city isn't overrun with illegals, but as long as the border towns and other cities are overrun, it's not my problem. But they're starting to realize this is now hitting home. In between the massive inflation on food and the waiting line for subsidized housing in these major cities, and now they're being pushed out and replaced with illegals after these people have lived their entire lives in these cities, probably third, fourth, fifth generation. They're seeing what the Democrats are really like. Is it going to be enough to change their minds? I don't know. Trump will never win the state of Illinois because this is in Chicago. But how about some congressional seats? Illinois has gerrymandered the heck out of it. We're going to have to see. People are waking up. The things that were done in the past with Democrats just hoodwink people and they went along like sheep. It looks like this is the beginning of the end of that brainwashing. We're going to have to see, but you can see in this audience, there's very young people in there, some white, not many black people, which I find very, very interesting. So there it is, folks. The man tells it like it is. Tells it like it is. And whether you like it or not, too bad. He's right. Advocate for your people in your city and in your country. What he's really saying is America first in Chicago. That's what he's really saying. And Trump has said it for years and was called a racist, a homophobe, and everything else under the sun. The gentleman's right. We have to look out for our own people first. And that, folks, is America first. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.